As Attorney General, you launched the special counsel John Durham probe. Critics say the Durham report fell flat. What's your response?
Well, I launched the Durham probe not as a criminal investigation, but to get to the bottom of the whole the genesis of the Russiagate scam. And the people who were criticizing it are the people who perpetuated the big lie of Russiagate and advanced that false narrative, peddled it to the American people, and did immense damage to our country, to our institutions, including the FBI. And you know, it's curious that they would say that a investigation that exposed the big lie they were involved in fell flat. Now, they may be measuring it on the grounds that there were no prosecutions or none of the big players were prosecuted. But I've said all along that's dangerous to get into the business of saying that the standard is how many people you prosecute, because the object here was to find out what happened and to tell the story, to get to the bottom of it.
What is the legacy of the FBI's 2016 Russia collusion investigation and special counsel Robert Mueller?
Well, the immediate impact of it, obviously, was to hobble the administration, which was unfair to a newly elected president who legitimately won the investigation. And it divided the American people. It turned a lot of the American people against the FBI and raised serious questions about the FBI. It crippled our foreign policy. It didn't allow us to do the kinds of things we had to do with Russia over the 4 years of the Trump administration, and in some ways really paved the way for Ukraine. And I think the media played a huge role in this and rightfully lost a lot of public trust by their behavior.
Does Special Counsel Durham's recommendation that there should be the creation of a new position to oversee politically sensitive investigations go far enough?
Well, I think a lot of steps have been taken already, and I think some of his proposals are good ones and should be considered, including, you know, having someone in the department review this and sort of play a red team role of pushing back on some of the assumptions that are being made, and made sure that that bias is not in play, not just conscious partisan bias, but just bias against individuals and a tendency to give too much credence to things that are what you preconceive the truth to be, and not enough attention to evidence that's inconsistent with your preconceptions, which appears to be what happened in this case.
There's a footnote in the report that says former FBI Director James Comey declined to be interviewed. Did Special Counsel John Durham have the necessary powers and authorities to compel Comey's testimony?
Oh, yeah. I mean, he had all the power and authority he wanted. And as I understand it, I think the report indicates that he did use subpoenas, did grant immunity to certain witnesses. He had the ability to use the grand jury, which he apparently did in some cases. But it doesn't surprise me that, you know, a top person involved in this would not want to testify. My assumption is that had he been subpoenaed, he would have asserted the Fifth Amendment.
You think Comey would have asserted the Fifth Amendment?
That's my guess. That's my guess.